Hi, welcome everybody. Sunday morning. Welcome to Do Monica Media. First of all, as you join the channel, let me know where you guys are coming from. Say hello and let's get engaged. So welcome. But what I'd like to do, and I'm trying something kind of new on my channel, which is um, I want to do kind of like a news aggregate. Many times on Sunday mornings, I'm really just kind of catching up on the news anyway. And so it's very rainy here today in Chicago. So I kind of thought it would be fun to break down and have sort of go through the news together and react and share and talk and discuss as we go through, the news that you want to catch up on. So welcome. Live super chats are open. So I hope that you will support the channel. It does help me grow. And as you join, tell me where you're from and introduce yourself. So let's get started. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do in today's live stream. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to tackle the Nick Shirley story, the Somalian fraud that he is exposing and doing a great job of that in Minneapolis. And so we're going to watch that together. That's the first thing. The second thing is, yes, there will be an update on Candace Owens. Candace Owens, actually, she's getting some backlash for the Mitch Snow character that she had on this past week. So we'll cover that. And then I also want to talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson and what he is saying about Islam. And so that's the format for today's show. Please do say hello, introduce yourself, and let me know where you're from. And again, like, subscribe, support the channel. You can join membership or super chats. And with that, let's get started. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Nick Shirley kind of exploded on the scene. And I just recently discovered him. So I guess he's been out there for a little bit, but he just has this bombshell report. He went live, investigative reporting, real investigative reporting, and went live in Minneapolis to expose all of these billions and millions of dollars that the taxpayers in Minneapolis they're stealing from the taxpayer in Minneapolis. So I've watched some of his coverage. What I'm going to say and preface it before I share my screen, and we'll get into it. And again, we'll stop and react as we go. But I think he's doing kind of like a Doge, uh, operation, but more tactical, more specific, specifically in Minneapolis. So if you haven't seen it, let's have some fun, and we'll do that review right now. Hey, Chicana, welcome. Say, where are you from? And let's get started with Nick. Okay, this is the full breakdown of his entire.
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these childcare centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see.
So real quick, that's just the intro. This guy, I think that guy's name is Dave, and he's explaining how this whole thing started. And then Nick went on set. And so citizen journalists, and this is how we're going to change the country, but this is the beginning of it. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. And let's just see, before we keep going, who else is in the chat. Hey, Chicana. Okay, I'll keep it going. Sorry, it's hard to produce on the fly like this sometimes. So give me one sec. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Hold on. I lost my place. Let me just go to my bookmarks. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, let's keep it going.
The same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali-owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
So right here, we have all this paperwork. And how are you getting all this information about the fraud?
A lot of it is through my own research. And then I have some contacts at the Capitol going back many, many years. And so the data that I'm getting.
I'm going to check the chat real quick and see who else has joined us. Oh, we've got 32 in the chat. Henry Ways. Hi, how are you? Where are you coming from? And Ashima Magar. And welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. I'm going to probably bump up ahead a little bit because this is really, how this whole thing started, but there's some really good coverage in this. And so anyway, that's how we'll continue. But I want to check the chat periodically so that I can say hello to everybody that joins. Okay, let's go.
Is 100% accurate, coming directly from research done by people at the state capitol.
All this paperwork right here, what are we looking at?
The areas of fraud that I have numbers for are mostly related to childcare. This is massive fraud that is beyond anyone's imagination, the scope. And so, for example, there's a childcare not far from here in Minneapolis that has two childcares listed at the same address. And together, they're licensed supposedly for 120 children. I have never seen a single child there ever. And I've been by that place at least 100 times.
These Somalians, these groups are setting up these daycares, these childcare centers, getting money from the government, but there's no kids.
No kids. Never had any of them. They're all fraught with violations. And even though they have these violations, they're still in operation and they're still getting money. And it's millions of dollars for every one of them every year.
And who's getting the money? And where are they getting the money from?
So we have a thing called CCAP. It's a blend of federal and state money. The bottom line is it's taxpayer.
So, I think that's very important because it's not just the citizens of Minneapolis and Minnesota. This is also federal dollars. And so, you know what? I live in Chicago, and it kind of is making me inspired to see what's happening here in Chicago. We also have a Somalian community here in Chicago. Obviously, Minneapolis is one of the biggest ones. But, and just in case you guys aren't aware, as I was preparing for this live stream, there's also quite a bit of news of this similar fraud going on in Maine. So that is something else that's happening. And let me just check the chat real quick and see who else has joined us. Great. We've got 48 in the chat. This needs to get to Trump. I completely agree. Where are you from? Whisper 21 seconds. Where are you from? And welcome. Okay. So I'm going to kind of pause periodically and welcome people into the chat as we move forward. But let's continue watching and see what else this documentary covers.
Money, so it's state money and it's federal money. And the problem is the people of the state of Minnesota are the ones writing the checks. This is kind of the maddening thing is you have daycare, so you have adult daycare, and then you have child care, and then you have health care.
Watch out.
And a lot of these same names keep coming up on all of these different types of businesses. And then, of course, we have the transportation, and a lot of those same names appear, a lot of the same addresses. There's one building that has 14 Somali healthcare companies at the same address. There's another building in St. Paul that has 22 Somali healthcare businesses at the same address.
And
There's another
the government knows about this.
in St. Paul that has. The government knows, they're writing the checks. Yeah, the Democrats are over there just writing the checks. What has happened is that the Somali community is a very closed community. They will not speak to anyone outside the community and talk about what's going on within the community. They vote as a block. And so when you're a politician, you're saying, look, I've got 100,000 people in Minnesota that if I do something for the community, they're going to vote for me. And that's what it's all about, is getting the votes. And then the people here in Minnesota, you hear this term, Minnesota nice. I'm so sick of that term. The people here are so afraid of being called a racist.
It's just absolutely out of control. 60 in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Tell me where you're from and let's have some conversations. But yeah, it is absolutely out of control. People feeling that they can't speak up. And by the way, I just did a video yesterday on this very subject about the need to speak up and the need to really challenge others and things like that, because that's how we affect change in this country. And if you're like me and you're feeling that, we need to take our country back, this is the kind of thing that's going to be necessary. Nick Shirley I see him as up and coming, as ascendant, new journalist, citizen journalist, this gentleman that he's interviewing as well. Also another person that is specifically key. Being active in your communities. These are all huge things. And that's what's going to affect change in real life. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and I mentioned it yesterday, but the Megyn Kellys, the Tucker Carlsons, we're going to get to Tucker later on. If you're just joining the chat today, I am going to be covering Tucker as well as Candace in after we get through Nick. But these are the new winners. These are the new people you're going to see, the Nick Shirleys. And with support from you guys, I may even take my channel that way as well, because I have a real interest in this. And so anyway, from Chicago, look at owner, let me pop you into from Chicago, look at owners of properties that are being rented. They are involved. Hey, I'm from Chicago too. So Chris Regal, 5386, where are you in Chicago? I live downtown. No doubt it is happening in the city of Chicago. I mean, the fraud's just, did we not set the record for fraud? Aren't we the one of the top teams in the United States in terms of fraud? I mean, it is the county of Crook after all, and they've been calling us the county of Crook for 50 years that I can remember. So agree with you on that. Whisper, yeah, this needs to get to Trump. It absolutely does need to get to Trump. But again, just one thing on that, Whisper. I mean, it should get to the DOJ. It should be getting to, well, I guess, Dan Bongino stepped down, but Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and the DOJ, that's where it should be getting. Not everything can be on Trump's shoulders. Now, Trump has talked about this, so he does know about it, but that's why he's got a cabinet. That's why he's got a DOJ. And again, that's why you have to be vocal and you have to be loud, not loud necessarily, but maybe, sometimes it upsets people when you speak truth. And we can't be afraid to do that, because our country is being stolen from us. And this is totally an example of that. Hey, how much money did Israel pay you? They didn't. These are the bots, everybody. And again, I will take, and I love discourse, and let's have a discussion, open to intelligent discussion and intelligent discourse. But if you start with the trolling and all that kind of stuff, you're going to be banned. Goodbye. Don't need you. Don't want you. So Israel didn't pay me anything. This is an interest of mine. I want to build a community. So anyway, let's keep going. Let's go back to the stream. And hello, how are you? Not sure where you're coming. I like Nick Shirley. Lark Bark. I like Nick Shirley. He's doing a fantastic job. He absolutely is, which is why I wanted to cover him today on the live stream. So let's get back to this documentary, and I'll bounce back to the chat for more discussion in just a few minutes. Okay?
Or an Islamophobe, and they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud, and they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it. Tim Wall's saying there's organized crime in Minnesota. What did he do about it? Nothing. You got organized crime? What are you doing? This is the Minnesota law, which mandates that anyone who knows of fraud and is a state employee must report that fraud. It's Minnesota Statute 3.971, Subdivision 9. Not only that, but Walls is also guilty of misconduct of a public employee. When I look at the world as a whole and I look at fraud, the Twin Cities is ground zero. The fraud is worse here than anywhere else ever in history, anywhere.
We're going to go confront these people. We're going to go to these days.
Wow, that's quite a statement. So I have two things to say about that. First off, I think the next layer that you're going to see, because we don't have I don't know what the DOJ is doing. There's some things I think that they're doing that is great, but I'm really putting this more back on the media. Nick Shirley is a real journalist. He is kicking the butt of people like Megyn Kelly and CBS News and NBC News and Jake Tapper and all of those people. He is kicking their butt. This 23-year-old kid with a cell phone, just reaching out and doing this kind of reporting. So I think you're going to see more of Nick Shirley. But the other thing I think, very specifically, what I think this elderly or this other gentleman's name is Dave, what he just said, and I think that's the next wave, and that's the next layer, is you're going to be going after Minneapolis. These people, he just said, it is the law, it is the mandate that if you're a state or city employee, again, we can go back and play it again, but it is your obligation to report fraud and report crime. And I think that is probably what's going to come next, because that is the way that is one way we are going to stop this and take our countries back, our cities back, and again, America, for the American citizen being really fleeced and robbed of their tax dollars, and everybody's breaking their butt paying taxes. It's crazy. So what do you guys think? I want to jump on the chat real quick and see. Yeah, okay. Oh, you're from Israel, Tel Aviv. Welcome. Okay, yes, he's a great fellow. No, okay. Lark Bark, I totally get you from being from California, because I'm from Chicago. So I completely and totally get that and understand. So yeah, you're going to be removed. Yeah, we're not going to take, I've done a couple of live streams now. So all you trolls using, nasty words and things like that, you're going to be banned. I don't have time for that. I want intelligent discussion. It's totally fine. If you have a different point of view, I'm totally good with that. That is how healthy people, intelligent people have discourse, but I am not taking being called Satan. Okay. So just forget that. Okay. All right. So let's go back and keep going. No wonder they wanted him as. Yeah, right. I know. Totally. All right. Let's go back and keep going with this, because this is a fascinating, really, this reporting is amazing. So I'm going to keep rolling with that.
We're going to see what's actually happening.
Okay, so we have to be careful, because these people are very violent. They're exceptionally violent.
Now, with all of David's evidence, we headed out to the streets of Minneapolis to see how much fraud we could uncover in one afternoon. Where are we going now?
We're going to a place called Mako Child Care, which actually has another child care registered at the same address called Mini Child Care Center.
So we should see lots of children if there's this child care center, especially if there's two.
The two of them combined are licensed for 120.
And how much money have these child care centers received?
None of those vans have moved in 6 months. None of them. In 2020, One of them received 1.3 million in 2021. They got 987,000. In 2022, they got 714,000. That's the last I have for that one. And then the other one, 1.604 million in fiscal year 2025. Fiscal year 2024, they got about 800,000, and in fiscal year 2023, they got $904,059. This place.
Yeah, God bless these people for doing this work, because, you know, we've got people fleecing taxpayers who, you know, are they American citizens? I do not know. A lot of the Somalians came in as refugees. So the generosity of Americans, and then they're going to do this. And I'm sure this is so much more widespread than Minneapolis. I will challenge this man when he says, you know, that the Twin Cities are ground zero. I mean, we have Chicago wants to say, hold my beer, right? Totally. Okay, Lark Bark. Let's see. Yeah, it's debatable which is worse, Los Angeles, California, or Chicago, Illinois. You're 100% correct. Let's see. I believe the money is raised for jihad activities in Africa. You know, I don't know. There's just so much happening, and this is why we need these citizen journalists. So anyway, we've got 87 in the chat. Welcome. Please say hello. If you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's free. And if you're so inclined, super chats are open, or you can join as a member to my channel, and I would love to have your support. Where is Spam Blondie and Crash Padel? Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's a very, very good question. But anyway, let's keep rolling and watch this great reporting. And this is very, very well worth everybody's time, I believe.
It's right here. Yes.
We're outside of it.
Well, this is actually 2 daycares are registered here. One of them is Mako, which you see on this sign. The other one is Mini Child Care Center. And between the two of these child care centers, they're pulling in about $3 million a year. And there are no children. Every facility as you go to, the windows will be blocked out so you can't see in. There's nobody here. You won't see a single child at any of these facilities.
There are indeed no windows. All the windows are blacked out right here. All right, let's go in.
No.
And the child care center is locked. Should we ring the doorbell?
Yeah.
Try to get in, rang the doorbell. Nobody showed up. They're open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. It says here on their sign, yet there's absolutely nobody here. And this building here, right here, has generated millions of dollars, and it seems like business isn't even open right now, and it's a weekday. And if this was a daycare center, it wouldn't just be in some industrialized building. There would be maybe like a playground or something outside. Or
there's no play area for the kids.
I mean, that is absolutely, totally 100% sus just with that. You don't have, daycare and children in an industrial sort of strip mall like that. That's no place where you're going to have a legit daycare. I don't even have kids, and I happen to know that. So we've got 144. Welcome, everybody. Please say hello and let me know where you're from. And thank God for Nick, the real journalist for us. Absolutely. I think this is where the world is now headed. And I think it's great. And I also think that, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't have these tools. So people like me can, get on a live stream and have discussions with, all of you that join. But because Elon Musk was able to purchase X, we have these tools now, and that's why this is becoming, I think, citizen journalists. And I think, again, you affect change that way. MAGA forever. Welcome. Where are you from? BTK 1213. Oh, okay. And Scott on the res. Okay. Scott on the res. Osage Nation, Oklahoma. Welcome. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. And I might, speed it up a little bit because there's some parts I've seen that are really, really interesting from this chat's rolling now. Oh, BTK, you're from New York City. Great.
I guarantee that Cash and Pam are looking to put any threat for 2028 in prison. Huh. Susan Hopkins, I think you make a very, very good point. People are blaming this administration are too ignorant. This was well before Trump took office. Thank you for saying that. And also, we can't put everything on the federal level. You certainly have to get, what do they say? All politics is local. So you have to be able to see what's going on. I mean, this gentleman, this elderly gentleman who is, the interview that Nick is in conducting right now, he just really did this by looking around. If you go back, to this whole documentary, that's what he said. He said, I looked around every day. I never saw that there were any kids there. And I started to kind of, connect the dots and started to look into it and things like that. So you do need to understand and look and see what's going on at your local level. That's important. You can't throw everything on the federal government. You can't throw everything on Trump. It's got to be at a local level, your school boards, city, state, everything. So we all know it. Oh, we got a lot from New York City. Welcome. And now Scott is saying hi to BTK. So I think that's great. Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump back in, but let's keep the conversation rolling and enjoy this. We've got a rainy, snowy, sort of bad weather Sunday here in Chicago. So I'd be just scrolling through X and watching these kind of things anyway. So I figured let's all watch it together. But anyway, let's keep it rolling.
So where are the kids? Where's anybody? How can there be nobody here? And it's like this every single day. I've never seen a single child here. In 9 years, I've never seen a single child at this building right there.
Oh, then now it looks like we already got the Somalis coming through.
Yeah, they're coming. The word's out.
Hello, is this your daycare?
No, can you tell us why there are no children? Have you ever seen children at this child care center?
Doesn't know if she's ever seen a child here. All right, let's go to the next location. Now we're going to the next daycare center. How much money has this one generated?
This one, in fiscal year 2025, $1,042,059. In fiscal year 2024, $1,059,078. And in fiscal year 2023, $727,336.
This next one is literally 1 block away, and this one's also generated nearly $3 million in the past 3 years. Let's see if there's any children. Let's see if any of the buildings are open. Here we go. All right, we've arrived to ABC Learning Center. All the windows are blacked out. Let's see if anybody is here. This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children. 0 children. I've come by this place 100 times. I've never seen a child here, ever. The only thing I've ever seen is someone standing outside smoking.
What's crazy about this is that last daycare center is that green building right there. And the other daycare center right now is right here. These buildings should be operating as they're receiving literally millions of dollars.
I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, somebody actually answered the door.
Hello, can we speak? I would like to check a child in the daycare. Can I speak to a manager? Where can I get paperwork to file for my son? I wanted to put my son Joey in daycare.
And after a few questions, the lady went silent.
Looks like little Joey Shirley ain't going to daycare here. And now where are we going?
Now we're going to Sweet Angel Childcare.
We're in the middle of a strip mall here inside of this neighborhood.
In fiscal year 2025, this facility, which says it's licensed for 74 kids, was paid $1.26 million in tax money. And there are no kids, and all the facilities are the same way, all of them.
Let's see if anyone opens.
Yeah, let's see.
Once again, I tried to find a spot for my son Joey, and they would not open the door.
I want to put my son Joey in daycare. Cause I need a spot to put my son Joey.
Yes.
Is this your daycare center?
No, I work there. What's happened?
I just want to put a child in daycare, but all the daycare centers seem to be closed. No one's opening the doors.
You work here?
I was, yeah. What's happened?
Where are the kids?
Yeah.
It says it's licensed for 74 children. Right here, state of Minnesota. Where are the kids? They
Huh?
got paid $1.26 million in fiscal year 2025. It says they have a capacity for 74 children.
When? When?
Where are the kids? Right here. State of Minnesota website. You work here and you don't know?
I don't know. I was there before. I don't know what's going on.
Were there any kids when you worked here?
He's there. Kids there. What's
How
up?
many?
I don't know.
You don't
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
You worked here.
It's such nonsense. I'm seriously. I mean, how many of you, everybody, we've got people from New York, we've got people from California, people from all over the place. Are you not sick of seeing this? People don't know anything. They don't have any answers about anything. He's dressed very, very well. You know, Somalia is a poor, poor country. They don't even have a government. This guy, I detected a little bit of an accent, so I don't think he looks to me like he's probably a refugee and he's in our country, and nobody knows anything. Nobody ever knows anything. I just have had it being walking around the city of Chicago, going into just anywhere and not recognizing people that, you know, my own country in many ways. Yeah, I sure, Jennifer Galizio, I think you're probably right about that. They pretty much say it. And I've got other stuff that I didn't pull for today, but I've got other stuff. I mean, to say the things that they say, and Ilhan Omar says it too. She pretty much, if you see any of the clips, she says our country, but she's talking about Somalia, not the United States. And let me ask you another question while I'm on a little bit of a kind of a rant and a diatribe here. How do we have people like Ilhan Omar in our government? I mean, how is that happening? Take the information to the police and the sheriff on film, show their reactions, district attorney as well. Yeah, I mean, we got to start calling these people out. I think that out of Nick Shirley's reporting, you're going to see, because at the very beginning of this video, if you just joined or you joined late, they talked about state and city employees in Minneapolis and Minnesota have an obligation, if they know about fraud, that they actually have to report it. So that is the next layer. And just as an aside, I did this yesterday on a video. You might want to check out the video I did on my channel, where we're talking about a woman who was burned alive in Chicago. And she was just minding her own business on the train, and a repeated violent criminal was an American. He was let out repeatedly. And you know what? You have to start going after these judges now, because we can scream all we want, but until people are held accountable and they are worried about their own jobs and their own lives and things like that, that is the way we affect change. And that's what has to happen. So that's partly why I wanted to live stream this and enjoy all of you guys. Oh, wow. Thank you for the super chat. Welcome. Thank you so much. Will stolen billions of tax money pop up in the Dem race? Yeah. BTK 1213. Good question. But you mean, you guys, 2026 is coming and 2028 is coming. I think we are getting smarter. We are getting more connecting the dots. We're getting stronger. And I think we're going to do really, really well for 2026. I actually do think the economy is going to start to rock. And so I think, you know, everyone's saying that there's just all this bad news. I don't necessarily believe it. But thank you for the super chat and supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Jennifer, I'm not suicidal either, by the way. And you said my name. Oh, good. I said your name perfectly. Wonderful. Well, wonderful. And welcome. And thank you for your participation. Okay. Why pretty? The money is supposed to be for children. As to rage, what do you mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay. The Dems still have like 35 grand in Epstein money. Okay. All right. So let's keep it going and go back to the documentary, and then we'll get back and chat some more.
Okay, well, then you're not of any help.
Can I put my son in a daycare here?
No, I don't know.
Can I speak to someone?
No, I don't know.
No? Yeah, I would like to see if I can put my son Joey here.
Who's your son, Joey?
My son Joey. Can I check out daycare center?
I'm gonna do my son. No! He's a liar. I'm the owner.
Do you put your kid here in this daycare?
No.
There is one child in there. Yeah,
So
I'd like
how
to
could
know
you
if this
do?
is a legit business.
Me, I'm scared of you too. How come I explain everything?
You're scared of me?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of your curry.
Because of my color. You said you're scared of me because of my color. Does that make you a racist?
Yeah, no.
But
No.
you said you're scared of me because of my color.
I'm not saying you're racist.
You said you're scared of me because of my color. That makes you a racist. So right now
This is mine.
they're all
That's
getting
mine.
mad because he's showing the
I
paperwork
don't
of
know
this
that.
business being registered as a business. 74 children,
I've
no
lived my
children.
whole life
We
here.
saw one child when the lady opened up the door.
Wow.
But now
where did
they're
this
all
money
getting mad.
go? What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on?
Ask the owner.
There aren't any kids.
Ask the owner and the kids.
Well, then why are you talking for the owner if you're telling me to talk to the owner?
I'm sorry. I'm not understand what you're talking about.
Do you have a child here?
No.
Does anybody?
No.
Where are the 74 kids? Did you lose them? Did you lose these kids? Do I need to call someone? Do I need to issue an Amber Alert for missing children? Are these children missing? It's not my business that children are missing. 74 infants and toddlers, preschool.
The proof's right there. There's no children anywhere.
It's from the state of Minnesota right here.
I didn't.
I think we're moving on to the next location. Have a good day.
Okay.
As we continue to show the blatant fraud that was taking place here in Minnesota, Somalis started following us around the city.
And now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center. Absolutely no signage. And there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside. $5 million within the past
5.9
2
million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign. That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare.
So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open
They
up.
said they spelt learning.
Okay, so this gets really good because somebody starts to freak out about don't open up and ICE agents and ICE agents. And by the way, Scott, I do believe that you're right. I did get a bot. They're starting to infiltrate the channel, which is totally fine. Okay. Why would daycare need so much money? Okay. Enraged, LOL. Ice baby. Jones Charlie 2105. Where are you from? Say hello. Well, okay, at eBest Real, I did not delete any of your comments. So I may have set filters. So if you're using like foul language and stuff like that, they don't even make it to the chat, but I did not delete any comment of yours. And if I did, it probably was a mistake. So I do apologize. I mean, again, I'm open to discourse. And I got terrible bots from my live stream last week. So anyway. Good. Let Donald Trump watch these videos. This shit better come to an end. Jackie Bridges 7138. Where are you from? Gregory Farmer 6605. Keep pressing on, man. Open this fraud. I'm 100% with you. Absolutely. This is what we have to do. We have to do these kind of things. We have to do live streams. You know, I open myself up because I feel like these things are important. I do enjoy my YouTube channel. I hope you all at least subscribe and like and support the channel. But you're right. We have to keep pressing and we have to support that. That's how we're going to get change in this country and in our communities. And the biggest thing for me, and I will say this and we'll go back to the documentary, but I have a niece and a nephew who are 20 and 16 respectively. And I want them to be able to grow up in the America that I grew up in. And right now, it's just so different. I'm Gen Xer. You know, we had Michael Jackson. We had, Thriller, Ghostbusters, all that fun that we grew up with. And it was just a different world. And so this is why I do this. And this is why this is important. So anyway, thank you for subscribing, Jennifer. I love that. And I love you all to subscribe. So we'll get back to the footage and then we'll
bounce back and continue on with the discussion. I have to kind of bounce back and forth, so bear with me.
Wrong.
Don't open up.
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up.
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up. We have ice.
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up.
and getting $4 million
Don't
over
open
the
up. It's ice.
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away.
What do you think about that? Are you in
Go
favor?
away.
Are you in favor of that?
Go away.
You know where
You're
the-
not welcome here.
Are you-
Shame on you.
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you. It's
going
ice.
illegally,
Don't open up.
fraudulently to this business that has quality learning center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up.
Ma'am,
Okay, I just have to stop. These libs, these left-wing radical liberals, and if any of you are in the chat, you know what, that's fine. We can have a discussion, but is that not a perfect example of how not smart they are? Does Nick and his buddy Dave look like ice? Do you have any idea what's going on? And it's always, I'm sorry, but you know, females, it's just, let me take that back. I don't want to get in any trouble with YouTube, but these people are just not that smart. And she's sitting there. If she thought it was ice, she's going to get in the way. That's obstruction of justice. That's got to be some kind of at least a misdemeanor. It's just outrageous. People like that. What is she think she's doing? And you know what? I said a lot of times to some of my friends who, you know, hate Trump and have, you know, TDS and all that kind of thing. I say to them, I'm like, look, that's fine. You can hate Trump all you want. And I'm a 3-time Trump voter. I like Trump. I think, you know, I've just been a supporter of his. But, you know, I said to him, make sure you're voting in your best interest, because a lot of times you're voting against your own interests. I mean, do you not even understand this? And so anyway, it's just crazy. So let's look back at the this stupid woman. It's called the useful idiot. This is actually true. I've said that to my friends before. And again, I'm talking about blunt conversations, not to have arguments. But when you say to somebody, you do realize you're a useful idiot, they don't like it. The truth hurts sometimes, but you are a useful idiot. And that woman looks like a useful idiot to me. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Okay, Joshua Wesson, 3353. Godspeed, Mr. Shirley. I completely agree. She's a typical liberal who just blindly follows without knowing what she's following. Metalhead GG 1972. 100%. Absolutely. Like I said, these people just are not that smart. I hate to keep stopping the video, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of watch a little and then have reaction with all of you guys. But I mean, yeah, the lady's just really not that smart. Okay, let me hide some comments. We'll look at some more of these. Yeah, the sign does say leering it's not leering center. It does say that. At ebest_real, so much public funds have been routed to these leftist causes. We will never know how much money has been stolen. I mean, it's just absolutely outrageous. And I mean, it's really hard to be somebody who works really, really hard. I mean, we saw it with the SNAP benefits when the government shutdown happened, you know, right before Thanksgiving, with all of these people getting thousands of dollars, and they don't, you know, while you and I get up every day, we work hard, we pay our bills. You know, I've always supported myself. I don't have any kind of subsidies. Most everybody that you and I probably know don't do anything like this. We support ourselves by working hard and just being good citizens and things like that. And you see this, we're just getting fleeced everywhere. It's just ridiculous. Y'all, LOL, y'all just racist. Sorry, it's true. So RC 6065, what are you talking about? Because, see, again, you get called a racist if you're just simply calling out what the truth is. It's out of control. If you don't have anything, RC 60, 65. Love to hear why are you calling us a racist? Because you generally call people names when you have nothing to say or nothing, of substance to say, or when you've lost the argument, you just call people names. It's ridiculous. We pay that money. Lori Mobley, 4344. Yeah, absolutely. We do. We totally do. These chats are totally flying right now. So if I missed any super chats, I'm going to go back and look. I'll prioritize super chats. Oh, Lark Bark. I may not have grown up in the 80s, but I have a strong affinity for that decade. It was a great decade. It was like really it was awesome. So anyway, Donnell Hall, Trump train still moving forward. I think so too. MAGA is not dying. They want you to think it's dying. It's not dying. So I 100% agree with that. And okay, let's see. They're standing on ice. Yeah, that's true. Are you playing it out, breeding us? They claim they have us out. Yeah, Mike Anderson. I know exactly what you're talking about. I should have pulled that clip. It was that New York Times. I think he was a former New York Times reporter. And it was a big viral thing that was going around on Twitter about maybe a month or so ago. And he basically said, hey, you lost. We breed like crazy. It was so anti-white. And if any white person did anything like that, I mean, can you imagine the backlash? But white people are getting attacked all the time. I mean, it's unbelievable, out in the open all the time. And so, Mike Anderson, I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, he said that we're breeders. You people lost, you let us in, and now we're pretty much taking over. And yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, the sign does say Leering Center. Can you believe that? Okay. Lori Mobley, not smart. They are getting away with our money while hating us. Totally true. Lady Jenny, welcome back. I saw you last week. I'm so glad you joined. Nice to see you again. Good grief. Let me see. Eric Gallant, Y2K. You have all the information you need now, so get them shut down. Completely agree. Okay, let's get back to the footage, and then we'll react. So let's watch a little bit more, okay?
We are not ICE.
I don't care who you are. You don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up. It's ice.
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare center.
99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding. Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud. Have you ever seen children at that daycare center right there?
Well,
Yeah, it's right there. It says the child, you've never seen daycare.
I don't see anybody here.
We're going to educate you on something. So what do you think about this daycare center? They spelled learning wrong. They've received over $1.9 million this year alone, and they're supposed to have 99 children here.
I don't see it.
99 children.
Have you ever seen any children here?
None at all. None.
This year they got 1.9 million. Last year they got 1.5 million of your tax money for 99 children. We just want to know, where are the kids?
Right.
Where are the children?
I don't see them. I've been here since 2017. I haven't seen anybody like
Never
that
seen
here.
a child here.
No, not at all.
And so you've
8
never
years.
seen a child here for 8 years?
Nope, not at all.
And how does that make you feel knowing that this place is receiving
Disgusting.
$1.9 million?
It's disgusting. I mean, what the hell? They stealing the money. That's a federal grant too. That's, if they get caught for that's a federal offense. I know. I studied law.
And do you think Tim Walz should go to jail for all the fraud that he's enabled here in his state?
That's him doing this? Heck yeah. He's got to be held accountable for this. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason what's going on here. It's simple. It's nothing there. It's a parking lot.
And look, they even spelled learning wrong on their sign for a place.
So I want to stop it for a second, you guys, and maybe ask the audience. So, do you think Tim Walz is going to be held accountable for this? Do you think he's going to be charged with a crime? I do believe that this is criminal, and so I'd be interested to know what you guys think about that. What are the chances? Will we see any real accountability? And then let's get to some of the comments. 80 to Saul to Paul. Love that, Saul to Paul. 80 to 95 were excellent years. They absolutely were excellent years. I'm totally with you on that. Okay. Brian Gilchrist, 6690. It is time for the stealing to be stopped. They need to deport all who have overstayed and all who are here illegally. Excuse me. I want to say something about that. I completely agree. And in fact, I would take it maybe even a step further to say that I do believe that all immigration should be stopped until we know who's in this country. We don't need to have any immigration going on right now. Number one, we are full, especially in cities like Chicago. I'm sure in New York, we've got a lot of people from New York in the chat, in California, all these major urban, major cities. The DMVs are full. The ERs are full. We don't have any more room. And if you know a little bit about your history, and I'm not saying I'm like the biggest historian, but this is why history is important. I do believe that the United States of America shut down all immigration from about 1920 till about 1960. And you can, maybe 65, you can correct me on those dates. I could be wrong about that. But the point is, we didn't have the doors open all the time. We are not obligated to have our doors open all the time. And in the wake of the Joe Biden presidency, where they just threw open the doors for all of the third world to come in and for you and I to support, I think that we should have no more immigration for quite a while until we understand who is in this country and get the ones who don't belong here out. And that's pretty much anybody who's here illegally, whether you are a violent criminal or you're a criminal or not, because you are a criminal just by the fact that you came here illegally and you broke our immigration laws. So let's set that record straight. You are a criminal, but we should deport all of those people, get them out of here, and then sort through, what our country looks like after all of the people are deported, and, understand the census so we can get the congressional seats, right. Because, those are super fraud going on. And that's why the Democrats were, having hysterics when in different states and things like that, they wanted to redistrict and redraw the maps. You can't have that because that's another area of fraud that will be exposed. So I completely agree, Brian. But again, what do you guys think about the likelihood that Tim Walz or any of these people will be held accountable in Minneapolis? Joshua Wason, 3353. MAGA is America first. Yes, it is. Mindy Wire, 1926. Well, we have the Senate and the House. Why aren't we passing a bill to send all of these people home for birthright citizenship? So you ask a great question. And actually, the Supreme Court is going to hear that case. I do believe that it's in June. Obviously, this will be just absolutely groundbreaking, that decision, and hugely consequential. But that is going to be heard in June, I do believe, Mindy. Scott, I have family, friends, and coworkers that have walked away from the Democrats in droves. Yeah, me too. I mean, I said this on my live stream last week. My family, we were Irish Democrats from the north side of the Chicago. And you know what? I've said this for
really since Trump came along, and since he won the first time, is that MAGA is what the Democrats used to be. The Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party of yesteryear, that my grandmother and my aunt and my uncle and all of those people were supportive of, because it's Mamdani. It's Mamdani. It's the Socialist Democrats of America. The Democrat Party is not, it's really MAGA. Those are the Jack Kennedy Blue Dog Democrats, is really Trump supporters and MAGA and MAHA. That's who it is. Best real 90s was the last great decade. I can completely agree. It was, well, actually the 80s were really fun too, though, I have to say. Albert Lamana, that's bullshit. What's bullshit? And where are you from? Although we have the Senate in the House, it's by a slim margin. I know. And I don't even think that that's even really reflective of, they've stolen all those elections too. I mean, if you remember, it was Al Franken that won the Minneapolis seat, like 12 years ago by like 300 votes. And he had lost it at first, if you remember. Al Franken. Yeah, that was real legit, I'm sure. I don't care, WTF, your skin tone is. You rob an American taxpayer. You got to go. Completely agree, Jennifer. It's just enough. We've had enough. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's get some more people in the chat. Nick is very brave. He is, Lady Jenny. Dennis Nielsen, DK, thank Trump and Doge. Great job, MAGA idiots. I mean, again, I'm welcome to a dissenting opinion. I don't know what you mean, thank Trump and Doge. Anyway, let's go back to the footage.
That's supposed to be educating children.
That's crazy. I mean, who runs it? Who supposedly runs it?
Somalians.
Oh my god. Well, where? Yeah, it's just. I've never seen nobody here at all.
So how long have you been living here?
Since 2017. 2018.
You've never seen a single child walk in that building?
No, not at all.
So this daycare center is literally just a place to traffic money. $1.9 million just this year alone. And this guy's been living here for 8 years and has never seen a single child walk through those doors. There's no windows either.
No.
And the only window they do have, the door, is blacked out.
Yep, I see that. I've never seen anybody go in there.
Within just a few hours, we nearly approached $20 million in fraud, and we headed over to George Floyd's neighborhood to expose more of the fraud taking place.
This place is called Future Leaders Early Learning Center, and it's licensed for 90 children. And in fiscal year 2025, they received $3.6 million. In fiscal year 2024, they received $3 million. So in 2 years, they got $6.67 million, claiming they have 90 children every day of the week, 5 days a week. So let's find out.
Are making just about more money than NBA athletes.
And we don't even know if they're paying taxes, but we don't know where this money is going. Is it going to terrorism? Where is it going? But it's theft, it's fraud. And the reason I'm involved is I want it to stop. I care about Minnesota. I'm doing this for the people of Minnesota. I don't make a dime off all this time I've spent on this. I put my life at risk several times, but I'm determined to see this through and to correct what is wrong, what is evil.
Here at Future Leaders Early Learning Center, this building received over $3 million. Hello, how are you? I would like to see if I could bring little Joey, my son, little Joey here. Is there paperwork, or can I check out the daycare? No? Why can't I check out the daycare?
It's not here.
Okay, but if I can't get paperwork or anything to submit my son, little Joey, to come in here to daycare? We'd really like to put Joey in this daycare. We've heard great things.
Business card?
No, I would like your business card, actually.
talk to you, manager.
Okay, can I speak with somebody? Where are the children at? Are there children here today?
No.
No children.
Yes.
Why are there no children?
We have two of Mexico.
Would my son, little Joey, have friends to play with here?
No.
No. No friends for little Joey.
Yes. Sorry.
Dang it. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
So little Joey would not be accepted to that daycare.
Joey's still homeless.
Joey's still looking for daycare.
And because little Joey couldn't get into a daycare, we went to an autism center, as they have been popping up everywhere as a rise of autism has occurred here in Minnesota because of the government funds that they're receiving. I tried to check my son Joey into an autism center.
We've been going to a lot of these daycare centers. We're trying to find a spot for our little boy Joey, but we thought maybe we could check him in the autism center because none of the daycare centers are open. Yeah, and how many kids do you guys have at this autism center?
I can't give you a number now.
Like more than 5?
Probably.
Probably, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about like the fraud that's been labeled on the autism centers here? What do you guys do think about the fraud, or how come the autism centers are popping up?
I can't answer.
What news? Are you a news reporter?
My name's Nick. We're doing a little documentary trying to find little Joey a spot to put himself in one of these centers here because there's
Why are you asking us about
the fraud.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, because we want to make sure we're going to legit business if we're going to bring our little boy Joey here.
This is not a girl spot. Yeah. But that's her number on the other call. But this is we can't let you guys see. So.
Okay, thank you. So once again, little Joey, he can't even go to daycare, and now they won't even accept him if he has autism.
And again, no kids.
Okay, so we're going to jump back into the chat for a second because there's a couple of things that are coming up. Jones Charlie 2105, these illegals have drained our resources and stolen our tax dollars alongside these treasonous stems. 100%, absolutely. So there's somebody else in the chat, Ramses. USA is not interesting. Well, then why, you know what? Why does the whole world want to come here? You know, and I will say this. The USA has been battered and abused by our own politicians, letting the third world into our country. And so that's why it's MAGA, Make America Great Again. And that is the point of it, because over the years, and I saw this on Twitter or another YouTube video, maybe 3-4 months ago, about how you had the population, which was primarily, you know, white Christians in like 1952, and just having it just, you know, descended. There's nothing wrong with people of other races and other colors, of course, but that the point of it is they have pulled people into our country that, you know, illegal immigration for cheap labor for years and years and years and stuff like that. So when you say USA is not interesting, I'm curious as to what exactly do you mean? What is that a slam against the United States? And Ramses, where are you from? Because, you know, I don't really like, as a United States citizen, being abused and having my country insulted, to be honest, when we're pretty much paying for most of the world through our hard work and our labor, and it is done on our shoulders. And to be specific, it's not the global elites, the uber wealthy, or the poor. It's the people in the middle, the people that are making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year. They are the ones that are the backbone of this country and that are funding all of these things to many funding, making the country work. So I really don't like in people insulting my country. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. James Arnold, press 1 if you're unemployed. Yeah, that's, you know, many years ago, my father didn't like the fact that, you know, it started like in the 80s, I think, or maybe it's probably the 80s or 90s, where you would have press 1 for Spanish. You know, no, they should be required to learn the English language. They should be required to assimilate into our culture and not the other way around.
And in a little while, if you guys stick around, because I'm going to cover something that Tucker Carlson said with regard to Islam, and he thinks people, he doesn't understand some of this objection to Islam. And I'm going to play something in a little while. In fact, I could maybe even bounce to it now if you guys are interested, because I think you get a lot of the picture with this whole work that Nick Shirley is doing. But let's get the chat opened up and have some more discussions. And by the way, you guys, if you like what I'm doing and you like this channel, please support it by subscribing, liking, join as a member. I think it's $5 a month, or you can send a super chat my way. It's going to go back into the channel. I'd like to start to have investigations myself, interviews myself, and so it will go back into this channel. You want to see more of this? I'd love your support. In any event, let's keep it rolling. The great one, 11. Joe Biden should be in prison. Yes, he should. I totally agree. Okay. Jones Charlie, Joe Biden committed treason by allowing our borders to be flooded with illegals, breaching our national security and his oath to the office at the time. Absolutely 100%. And it also has to go on the shoulders and the backs and the guilt of all of the Republicans and all of the Democrats that did nothing about it, nothing to stop it. And remember Joe Biden saying, well, I can't close the border. I can't close the border. I need Congress and Senate to do something about it. And then famously, when Trump was inaugurated in January, he said, turns out we didn't need new laws. We just needed a new president. And that's one thing that I don't think anybody can disagree with. Trump's done a fabulous job on the border. The border is closed. ICE, they are having a lot of resistance, and that's from the blue cities. I live in one. I know what's happening. They are stopping, just like that lady from a little while ago, yelling ICE, ICE, ICE. They get in their way, and they're putting these ICE, they're making it more difficult for the ICE agents to do these deportations. Well, let's keep the chat going. USA belongs to Native Americans. All of you are illegal immigrants. I mean, that's a point of view. I do think that the land was conquered, but we cannot, and I think to be for discourse, I mean, you certainly cannot disagree that the Native American was on this land before, before the Pilgrims came over. So anyway, we'll keep going. Karen with too much makeup. I don't know. Are you talking about me, James? Let's see. Dennis, touch grass and hug a puppy. Okay. What works? Okay. Let's keep going. MAGA is not America first. Benny Rags, where are you from? And actually, there is a distinction. So we could talk about that in a little while. But I want to get back to this video. And then I think I might jump to Tucker Carlson, because I want to talk about what he had to say. And that's a little bit upsetting. And then, the Candace cult, Cantifa, will probably be showing up in a little while, but Candace got some bad news this week. Anyway, let's watch a little bit more, and we'll keep it going.
Couldn't tell you how many kids they serve.
After being able to provide no evidence of them actually being an autism center in a place where a child could go, they shut the door and we headed to the next fraudulent daycare center that was just around the corner.
We're on to the next location. We're still trying to find little Joey a place to go to get some daycare.
So where we're going now is a place called Super Kids Daycare Center. Interestingly, this daycare center was shut down when it was called Creative Minds Daycare, and it had received $2.45 million this fiscal year, 2025. They had to shut down because there were so many violations. And they went and they just reopened under a new license, and they renamed the center Super Kids Daycare Center, LLC.
So they got shut down, then started another one.
Yeah.
Literally the next day.
Creative Minds Daycare, $2.45 million got sent to this daycare center. We have empty parking lot. We do have a bus here. This is different. We'll see if we see anybody.
I knocked on the door. Absolutely nobody was inside. And once again, no children could be heard anywhere.
So David, once again, another child daycare center. We have a bus out here. No one's inside. Licensed for over 50 kids. No children anywhere. But yet millions of dollars every single year.
So the sign says Creative Minds Daycare. They got in so much trouble. They had so many violations that they had to shut down, and they reopened the next day under Super Kids Daycare Center. You see 3801 Portland, 3801 Portland, which is where we are.
So that's fraud right there alone.
Millions and millions of dollars. And again, the kids are missing. Where are the kids?
You'd think if they had the same address, that whoever's inside or working at the Capitol here inside of Minnesota would just say, oh, maybe that's a red flag.
They just write the check. Human Services, they got to clean out the whole bunch. They're the ones who enabled this fraud. How can you not look and say, wait a minute, these two are registered at the same address?
On top.
They don't want to see the fraud. Honestly, they don't want to see the fraud. And Michelle Plants, thank you for your comment. They won't prosecute Waltz. I think they want a civil war. I think there's absolutely something very real to that. You got to see where they're pushing people. Just the open fraud this is the open ineffectiveness of our government. It's going to be pushing people, it will push people. So like I said, I certainly don't want to fan the flames of any kind of, anything too radical, but I think you make a good point. Dennis Nielsen, Trump made $3 billion since he took office. Okay, I got to call you out, Dennis. You're just an ignorant lib. You are 100% incorrect. Now, first of all, ask yourself, number one, he was already a billionaire when he took office, so why would he bother to do it? He is one of I think there's like two politicians, Trump being one of two, and two might even be a stretch, but why would he bother to do all of this when he had money, he had fame, he had a great television show, he had everything he needed? Why would he bother to put himself through all the trials, all the impeachments to make money that he already had? It just makes no sense. He wouldn't have any incentive to do that. So it's just absolutely ridiculous, Dennis Nielsen. And secondly, how much money did Barack Obama make? And I can tell you, I'm from Chicago. They've made, how about all of the money they made? Or Nancy Pelosi, how much money has she made? Or MTG, who's a phony, how much money has she made? Or AOC, who was a bartender, and now she's worth, I think, I heard 65 million. I don't have it absolutely, a solid figure for you, but all of these people making money, it's just unbelievable. My father told me when I was growing up, picking a career and all that kind of stuff, he said, if you want to make money, you don't go into the government, you go into the private sector. Well, he was pretty wrong. Sorry. Guess my father was wrong from that standpoint. So anyway, by the way, you guys, if you're liking this, you're enjoying the conversation today, please subscribe, please join the channel. Super chat, super thanks, whatever it is, that really helps me grow. Anyway, and I appreciate very much of it, and I will prioritize super chats for the comments. And let's keep it going. Pam Bondi, all talk, Bondi, all bark. Okay, Peter Cooper, thank you for your comment. Where are you from? Peter Cooper, 9277, and no bite, pathetic. I agree. I liked Matt Gaetz. I think Matt Gaetz would have been the guy. I wasn't a big fan of Pam Bondi just to start with, but that was my opinion. And, we are where we are with that. Scott on the res. Dennis, I am an electrical engineer and don't need any additional education. 100%. These are the guys, electrical engineers, and kudos to you, Scott on the res. I work in tech. I'm just saying, you're not an electrical engineer, that's going to be replaced by AI. And the electrical engineers are going to be, I believe, so much in demand as we move forward into this AI, which that's kind of another scam too, but we'll leave that for later. Anyway, let's keep it going.
MAGA is a wide collection of views from the left of center to the right. 100% true. I think there's a little bit of a division between MAGA and America First. And I've heard a little bit about that. I don't really know to the degree, but I've that is where some of the, that's kind of inside baseball, but you're right. BTK 1213, you're right about that. Okay. 80s were crazy bad. 90s the best. Kiana, I'm butchering your name. I apologize. Kianush Solari 1128. The 80s were great. Sorry. The 80s were absolutely great. We had Michael Jackson, we had Madonna, we had U2, we had the music was fabulous, the movies were fabulous. I mean, it was just an absolute blast. SNL was really funny during the 80s. We had the Blues Brothers. You're crazy. No way. 80s win. 90s were good too, but 80s rocked, right? Gen Xers. We had any Gen Xers in the chat right now? Anyway, I think I want to move on to Tucker Carlson in a minute. King James, I think you joined me last week, and it's good to see you again. Ian Carroll. Yeah, he's one of Candace's foot soldiers for sure. 80s, he's ancient. Okay. Not Ian, the guy on the screen. Bailey, fine. Thank you. Where are you from? Who's Nick? Nick is the reporter, the young man, James Arnold. Nick is the young man who Nick Shirley kind of blew up over the last few days, specifically over this report, because he's doing things that the DOJ isn't doing, Megyn Kelly isn't doing, Tucker Carlson isn't doing, although Tucker Carlson did some things on Somalians just a couple of days ago, which makes all of his comments that I'm going to get to in a moment quite interesting. But let's keep it going. We aren't idiots, you jackass. That's funny, Jennifer. Okay. Okay. Dennis Nielsen, Ripple, please do. I would love my degree in political science to be questioned. Easily question that, Dennis. First of all, you do realize that you're indoctrinated in schools. And just because you're educated and you can be very book smart doesn't mean that you understand what's going on or that you really actually have any intelligence or smarts. Hence, Charlie Kirk kind of, came to who he came to be because he said college was a scam. College is a scam. They're really not even, maybe your political science degree, maybe they're teaching something of value, but you're getting indoctrinated at these schools. So yeah, I do think your degree probably isn't as valuable as you think it is. And again, just because you have a college degree doesn't mean that you are effective, intelligent, or bring anything of value to society or to an employer. And that's just, I'm not trying to be caustic or, rude to you, Dennis, but it's just simply the truth. Thank God for Trump King. Arnold C8Y, where are you from? And welcome to the channel. Go back to Ireland. Ireland's a beautiful place. Why are you so angry, Ramses? Dennis, you're just a keyboard warrior that's not going to do anything. Totally true. All right, Ramses, we know. When you realize it's all one big group, our votes never counted, and that it's one big cult managing the masses, you'll be getting somewhere. Scott says political science, bwahaha, funny. Yeah, it's Doge doing Somalian fraud. Philormsby, 2275. I kind of think this is a version of Doge. And so I just think there's a really huge and positive future for Nick Shirley. And yeah, these two guys are doing the work that Doge should have been doing. So let's take a few more comments. And I think I want to bump over to Tucker Carlson in a minute. Would you guys like to see more of this? We can play that too. Tech tyranny 8871, diversity and multiculturalism has destroyed America. It's 100% true. I live in Chicago. I worked for a very, very woke DEI firm. And, I've been around this whole DEI thing, just working for these different companies and things like that. And I can tell you, they're not, the DEI, very, very small firm here in Chicago, their people weren't as good. People are not as talented, they're not as good, and they're not as valuable. They're just not. And I've seen it in real life. So I don't disagree with you. Oh, thanks for the badge. That's wonderful. Thanks for I love that. Bail, you fine? Indoctrinated at Dennis is not intelligence. Exactly. That's so true. Child daycare center or mafia club, they look the same. Okay, let's keep going. King James also exposed the Chirac Kia boys. Simp NL, tip of the iceberg. All right, let's look for some other comments. Lark Bark, it's a cult they're running. So true. Look, everything is out in the open. It's starting to get that way. I wouldn't speak with someone regarding me at my business like that either. Weird interaction, man. Chad. 12459. I must have missed something. Anyway, King James says you're a simp at Chad. J for Freedom 45, Chad's retard. I always love the live chats. They're just fun. Marcus Burton 8834. How do we get all of them out? It's a good question. We just have to do it. Lady Jenny 1746. God bless Trump. Okay, guys, I'm going to bounce over to Tucker Carlson in a minute because I think that's a good segue to kind of this. And if you guys want to see more, we can always bounce back to this documentary, but we've gone through most of it. And I think, the point has been made that the fraud is just out of control. And there's fraud in Maine too, but I want to cover something that Tucker Carlson did and get your guys' take on it. So let me do that. Let me find, you guys keep talking while I get what I need here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. One sec. You guys just keep talking. Okay. So I'm going to share this tab instead. So this is Tucker Carlson. Again, I can't figure out what's going on with Tucker. We're going to play a little bit of this and then we're going to talk about it because I have a specific reaction to it. But essentially, Tucker is talking about the real, as he sees it, the real threats in America. And let's let this go. Okay, so
TPUSA did a poll during AmFest, or I guess it was after AmFest, and they asked the audience, what they considered to be the greatest threat to America. And they did put radical Islam at number one. I'm wondering where you think those sentiments are coming from. I mean, I've heard you say before that this is an op and that we all know which foreign government it's actually coming from. Which government is it? And can you explain how that operation works? How is it, kind of lured into those?
From the Israeli government and its many defenders and informal employees in the United States, of course. And I guess I would just say if that was actually, I don't know how people respond to the poll. I don't know who answered it, but, I believe in measuring reality a little more empirically. And, I don't know anyone in the United States in the last 24 years who's been killed by radical Islam.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So this really is about radical Islam and what Tucker Carlson thinks about that. And again, I want to spend a little bit of time figuring out where Tucker Carlson is coming from because I just don't know what's happened with him. But you're 100% wrong, Tucker, and I'll tell you why. There was a man in Rogers Park. Rogers Park is one of the northern neighborhoods of Chicago who was a Jewish man. And at first it was reported that it was a murder. But as it turned out, and maybe I'll do a Google quick search of this murder, no, it was radical Islam that killed this Jewish person on the streets of Chicago about 3 or 4 years ago. It was covered up or not reported that way from the Chicago local media in Chicago, but you're not correct about that, Tucker. So I want to just stop there for a second. And then I think we've got 102 in the chat. Welcome. Ship them JP August 213 out of America. I agree. Leave or get shucked. Okay. Judith Thorin 6176. Also, these businesses are stealing from American children who need these resources. So true. We're getting fleeced. It's ridiculous. I just, again, that's why I partly want to do this channel. Just so you guys know, I did a lot of my channel, and how I started the channel was basically, I started baking bread, which is Dough Monica Media, because I really make pizzas and bread. Then I started to talk about corporate America and what was going on in corporate America and what I call corporate slop, and spent a lot of time doing that because I have been working in corporate America. But I decided that, you know what, I want to talk about things that interest me. And so I started to branch out, and this is this kind of stuff that interests me. Anyway, and obviously you guys too. I want to grow this channel and expand and really grow Dough Monica Media. G. Ryan B. Welcome. Minnesota, Minneapolis. We love Trump. We do too. Okay. Let's keep it going, and then we'll go back to Tucker in a minute. Jennifer, for these illegals, we need to get them out, stop state regulations, and hire only Americans. I 100% agree. BTK, I don't want to stop needed immigrants, but we need to have all Americans who can work. There's no luxury in welfare, and thieves will be looking over their shoulders until they're arrested. Okay. J for Freedom 45. Yeah, we pay for our own invasion. I agree. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going with the Tucker Carlson chat. BTK, my family had to learn English and without any government help. BTK, where are you from? Where did your family come from? I would be interested to know. Chad, you are so pissed about immigrants taking jobs, but you reward the same corporations with tax breaks. Well, yeah, it's a whole, it's corporate oligarchs, it's the government, and there's the gangster banksters. This is like the trifecta. So we have to break all of these people up. And that's why I asked in my video yesterday, and if you like what I'd love you to go back and watch my video. It's called basically Blunt Truth, or, the cost of being nice is, how do we affect change and break these things up? And that's exactly one of the things that I address. So we've got to call these people out. And people don't like Trump, and we're not going to take our country back where it's in a polite sort of way. It's going to be some turbulence. There's going to be some heated conversations and things like that if we want to take our country back. So you make a good point. Anyway, let's keep going with Tucker, and let me get back to this interview because he says some interesting things.
I know a lot of people who have killed themselves. A lot. I know people who've died of drug ODs, more than a few. I know people can't get jobs. None of the boys in my daughter's classes can get jobs. None of those white boys can get jobs. They're being destroyed, by Adderall and video games and porn. Like I see millions of Americans being destroyed, and none of it is at the hands of radical Islam. Is radical Islam a greater danger than OnlyFans? It's not even close. Turning some huge percentage of American women into prostitutes. That's not radical Islam doing that, actually. So anyone who believes that lie, I feel sorry for, but it doesn't reflect the lived reality of anyone I've ever met in the United States. And I observe this for a living. It doesn't mean I'm right, but it means I'm not a casual observer. I'm a close observer because that's my job.
So
I don't disagree with him about a lot of things of what he said, because we do have, people just kind of being, zoning out to video games, and we do have, porn, and we do have these younger people that are, being threatened. I mean, my opportunity when I was coming up and starting my career, was very, very different. And the landscape looks 100% different now. Absolutely true. So I don't disagree with that, but I don't understand this. Lately, he's been doing a lot about, like, he just bought something in Qatar, property in Qatar, and I don't understand where he's coming from. And I want to get a little bit more of the chats, and we're going to prioritize super chats. But let me see. The US needs a socialist party at this point. Yeah, see, that's the problem. No, we don't. Socialism is terrible, but Limisanti, I can understand where the younger people believe that, because they can't buy a house. Everything's very expensive. They're being lied to and told that they're going to get everything for free. But a lot of these young people, I mean, my niece and nephew did not live to see 9/11. They did not live to see that. I remember exactly where I was when 9/11 happened. So when you don't know your history and you don't understand the threat, you elect people like Zora Mamdani. And that's a clip I'm going to get to in a minute. What we're going to see in New York City, and are already seeing in New York City, which is what everybody is worried about. This is why Tucker is wrong. So I'm going to keep going with Tucker's segment here.
And I just think that that's insane. And it would be yet another triumph of propaganda and theory over reality. So you tell people, I mean, this is the whole game. This is how, the United States has somehow tied itself to the anchor of Gaza. Like, why are we responsible for Bibi's mass murder? Well, we are now, partly because so many Americans have been told over and over and over, like, your destiny is intertwined with Israel. Israel's our most important ally. There is no sense in which Israel is an important ally. It's not even an ally. It's a liability. But people have been told that again and again and again, or I'm an anti-Semite. By the way, I got the award of apparently anti-Semite of the year 2 days after I gave a speech saying anti-Semitism was immoral. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the people creating the propaganda and disseminating it have zero interest in the reality of any question. Of course, propagandists never care what the truth is. They're merely convinced, probably with some evidence, that if you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it. I don't know what to do about that. That's always been true. I don't lose a lot of sleep over it. But if you've convinced a bunch of kids who literally can't get jobs and buy houses or find wives or husbands, whose parents are divorced, who are think on OnlyFans or playing video games all day, if you've convinced them that radical Islam is their number one problem, you are the most effective propagandist in history. I mean, that's an unbelievable feat. I haven't seen.
Well, the thing is, though, radical Islam is a problem. And so I don't necessarily, a lot of people don't agree. And this is something that Candace was saying the other day. And I'm going to play the next clip for you, Tucker. Yeah, we do have problems with people watching porn and people being zoned out on marijuana and things like that. But it's with regard to Bibi and Gaza and things like that. You know what I think? I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't like the division about it anymore. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me in my life. Foreign policy obviously does matter, but I am more interested about the things that are happening in my neighborhood, in my state, and in my country. Again, America first. MAGA, make America great again. I live in Chicago. I am worried about the city of Chicago. I am a property owner in the city of Chicago, and my property, it's not losing value, but it's certainly not, gaining anything in value. And so I'm more worried about those kind of things. And I'd love to know what you guys think about that, because I'm of two minds with Tucker's rhetoric lately. I don't understand where he's coming from. Some of the stuff he makes a lot of sense, but then he kind of veers off into this other stuff and what's going on there. Oh, the name calling, have mom make you a sandwich. Stupid statement. I don't know what the stupid statement is. New York is stand. Okay, so I'm gonna bounce to that right now because that's exactly what I want to play. Tucker, here's what we're concerned about. And Candace said something very similar as well just the other day. Let me go to my bookmarks. Okay, I want to share this tab. Okay, Tucker, this is what we don't see. Bring it back.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Okay, so Tucker, this was on the streets of New York City. I think this is what people don't want to see. We don't want to see the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day on the streets of New York City like they're seeing in London. That's not what people are. That is some of the concern that we're having with regard to Islam. This is a Judeo-Christian nation. It's a Judeo-Christian nation, yet, Christians are being attacked. That is allowed. If anybody saw what happened with Jack Posobiec, and again, I don't know my opinion about Jack Posobiec, but he held up a rosary and got absolutely eviscerated. The vile nature of what was happening with Mark Levin, by the way. Mark Levin, that's another, it's insane. What's going on. Mark Levin calling everybody Nazis and things like that. I mean, all of this stuff is going on. And no, I don't want to see Muslim call to prayer in the streets of New York City anytime soon. But I do have some fear that just like in London, that's what you're going to see. Okay. No Sharia law, no genital mutilation of little girls. Exactly right, Scott. All right, let's see. The Obama Library is coming with private basement bathhouse. Those anti-ICE supporters should also be protested opening library considering the millions buried deported. Wolfpack 9958. Yeah, I know about that. And actually, I was involved in a project, the DEI firm, that whole project run on DEI, and DEI being given the priority contracts first, because that's the way we roll in Chicago. It's a disaster. A total disaster. Okay, David Head 3704. This is not a Judeo-Christian nation. Well, it was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. Yes, it is. And yes, it was. I'm in New York City. These scumbags got to go. Muhammad was a pedophile. I'm from tri-state area, and that is insane. Only time New York gathers is sports and New Year's. Sean Price. So this is in Times Square, okay? As long as it doesn't impact my life, I don't care. Yeah, see, that's the problem. It is going to impact your life. You don't think that, I mean, at the end of the day, one thing leads to another. And it does impact your life. You don't think it impacts your life, the cost of housing right now, and all of the emergency rooms and DMVs, long lines. The cost of housing is partly impacted by the open borders that Joe Biden let the world stream in here and gave them, free housing, tax subsidies, free iPhones. It does impact your life. It absolutely does. That's insane. Okay. We moved out of Chicago to Florida. Best decision we ever made. Best politics down here. No sanctuary cities. Hey, Mike, I get it. I live in Chicago. I'd love to know where you're from in Chicago. I'm actually going to Florida. I go down to Naples every year. I'm going, just book finalize my trip to Naples. And I'm going to start to look at property. I mean, I live in the Gold Coast of Chicago. So I'm in a very good neighborhood. And I'm telling you something, the crime in this neighborhood, never seen that kind of crime before. So Brandon Johnson is affecting that. And then I actually about 2 years ago, I was looking out my window and I can see my garage, the entrance to my garage, and I saw illegal aliens, and they're illegals because they don't know where they're going, um, literally entering my private building. This is something that has never happened before. So it's absolutely insane. Okay. Oh, Wicker Park. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a Wicker Park, man. I mean, it's pretty lib over there. What do you think? I mean, I don't really go too much to Wicker Park, although they do have some great restaurants over there. When did you leave? Interesting to know when you left for Florida. Left Illinois 15 years ago. They bankrupt. Tree Rogie 1513. They are. You're totally right. It's going to be, well, the property taxes are just, if you haven't heard about what's going on with the property taxes, it's absolutely insane. Gold Coast illegals welcome. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Diabetic used to be an illegal alien. I'm a 5th generation American, just saying. Okay, Bryant T. Spross, 1456. Thank you. Okay, Mike, you left 3 years. Where are you in Florida? Crop dust. Great. Okay. All right. So let's go. Yeah, ain't wrong, Jen. JB the cook. Welcome to the channel. And again, let me go now. I wanted to cover, so we've got 83 in the chat. This has been a great live stream. I'm going to now cover, because I told everybody we're going to cover Nick Shirley. He's awesome. Cover Tucker Carlson. I don't understand what's going on with Tucker. I don't understand. I'm just not sure what's happening there. And then this is one of the biggest concerns. And again, I'll play this real quick one more time for everybody if you just joined the chat. Times Square. Tucker is great. I've always been a fan of Tucker's, but I don't know what's going on with all these people now. I just really don't understand it. And Megyn Kelly, I mean, she's totally out in my mind. Oh, you're in between Tampa and Orlando. Cool. Sean Price, what happened to Tucker? Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I wanted to bring up. And I mean, the other problem with Tucker is, for some reason, he's remained silent about all of the stuff that Candace Owens is doing to Erica Kirk and to Turning Point USA. And I don't think that's cool either. And if you don't know what's happening with Megyn Kelly, that whole controversy, it is actually groundbreaking. And I am shocked with Megyn Kelly and all of the stuff that she's been putting on X. It's just absolutely insane. So I'm married 5th generation. Oh, hold on, I'm trying to get your comment up there. No. Did you leave? Why can't I get it up there? Okay. Something going on. Okay. Okay. I used to like Tucker, but his beliefs confuse me. Yeah, that's kind of where I am, Lady Jenny. If only Kevin Samuels had a friend like Candace Owens. Who's Kevin Samuels? No, we don't want Muslims praying in New York City. I'm from New York City. I think this is what's shocking people. People can pray in public in America. Actually, somebody was just recently arrested for praying. Actually, might have been in London, so let me correct the record. But no, it's, if you're Christian, I think you have a little bit more risk. That's just the reality of it. And then people who pray outside abortion clinics have always put themselves at risk. So, Mike, get every illegal out. Completely agree. Kevin Sam, a good guy. Okay. Freedom of black guy. Okay. All right. Christians are under attack. They totally are, Lady Jenny. It's just absolutely crazy. Horseshit. It's actually one of my favorite words. PS Shayna 3, but it's not horseshit. Kevin Samuels had a heart attack. He wasn't shot in public. Okay, I'm not sure who he was. More risk than those seeking medical care or Muslims. Caleb Masterton, 1427. Okay, not sure. All right, we are going to jump now because that was really what I wanted to talk about with regard to Tucker. There's no way you're living off this privilege and proud of it. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it is. Okay. Look at London. It's lawless due to Muslim mayor. Yeah, totally. Nick Shirley got thrown out at a parking lot at a mosque. I'm sure it's true. Sure, it's absolutely true. Jennifer, he used to tell women the truth. JB the cook. Yeah. You mean American privilege. I don't know. I'm losing the chat's going fast. All right. So I want to get to the update with Candace. So again, I have some interest in it. And we're going to move on to that. And because that's pretty much what I wanted to cover with Nick Shirley and with Tucker. But let's talk about, because when Candace Owens even has her supporters turning against her, it's bad. And that's what happened to Candace Owens this past week. So let me kind of get there. And I will, let's see. Okay. Okay, so if you guys aren't aware, Candace Owens had this guy who was what she called a whistleblower, who claimed to have seen Brian Harpole, who was Charlie's head of security. He's been on the Sean Ryan podcast. He's been doing some interviews and things like that. And Erica Kirk at this place, Fort Huachuca. Now, who she interviewed, he went by the name Mitch Snow. And Candace said she vetted him. She did all of these things. The guy turned out to be a complete scumbag. He domestic violence, an abuser of women, had like 4 or 5 different children. I don't know how many kids he's had with different women, not paying child support anywhere. The guy just, the credibility to which this guy lacks is shocking. And so she's seeing all this backlash online because this Mitch Snow has been thoroughly debunked. Morgan Ariel, who's a pretty big account on Twitter, she says, I love and support Candace Owens and have immense respect for her and her work and the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination. I cannot in good faith get behind Mitchell Snow. The Holy Spirit isn't giving me the green light concerning him. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm disturbed in my soul about him. So that's really just one thing, but there's so much more that got broken down for Candace. Snow was debunked. Yeah, he totally was debunked. Absolutely. Okay. Now there's a little bit of F off, you libtard. I always love it. Hey, I'm Irish. I love a good fight. I feel like Candace is only doing this for clips. Meathead Gigi. Yeah, I know it's just so bad. It's just so bad. So I've got a little bit more. If you guys aren't following, oh God, what is his name? I'm going to bring his channel up right now. He's great. You got to follow this channel because he's been doing a ton of live streams on all of this, and he's been interviewing people, and he has the receipts with regard to Candace Owens and Mitch Snow. But my point is, Alex Jones came out against Candace Owens. Paramount Tactical is the name of the channel. You got to follow it. The guy's just awesome. Oh, great. Mike, I'm so happy you subscribed. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much. But anyway, let me go to this next thing because I want to show you what's happening for Candace. Let me go to my bookmarks. Give me 1 second. You guys just keep talking and fighting. I love all that stuff because I just think it's fun. Bookmarks. Okay. Okay. So
was the report. I don't know if it's true or not. I think there's a lot of indication here that this is completely made up. What I can tell you, going back to my point at the beginning of this, is if TPUSA handed this to the Candace crowd and said, hey, this is proof of whatever they were trying to prove, they would tear this apart. They would laugh at it. They would mock it. Look at this freaking Fed slop. Look how ridiculous this is. It's not even a real license plate. It's not a real license number. These building numbers aren't right. But she can produce this, and every one of her sycophants are going to defend this. Like, oh, no, this is legit. Oh, look how good it is. Oh, freaking, pretty sure Jesus wrote this. I think Jesus wrote this. It must be true. So that's what we're dealing with. It is 210, 220.
So you guys, I really highly encourage you to follow Gary's channel, Paramount Tactical. He's been doing a lot of investigative. Okay, I know this guy. Yeah, Lady Jenny, you follow both of us probably. He's great. Now, he was just debunking something that Candace put up in response to all the backlash she's getting from even her supporters about this Mitchell Snow guy. So I wanted to start there, but I've got a little bit more, and I'm going to take Scott real quick. Wait, Scott, hold on. Where is your? No. Scott, I'm trying to get your. Hold on. Nick Fuentes is honestly right. Candace has been riding the Israel train. Kirk only for her to backtrack and admit Israel has nothing to do with it. Hey, Scott, I actually missed your, I don't know what I did with your chat's acting a little bit funny here. Oh, hi, Mike. Everybody's saying hello. I love it. Erica Kirk is scary. I don't like the beating up of Erica Kirk. I think that she should be allowed some grace. I mean, her husband lost his life in a brutal, horrific way for the world to see in one of the biggest political assassinations since MLK, and I just think she should be given some grace. Let Erica Kirk get her footing. There's a lot to deal with. And I don't really think that that's something that is, I'm not a fan of doing that. Ban the burqa. I totally agree. If Candace was legit, the algorithm wouldn't support her content. Oh, swagger like you. Hey, you're back. Good to see you 3 weeks in a row. I love it. Totally agree. I mean, I don't get a lot of views and things like that lately because I want to do things of value for intelligent people who just don't fall for nonsense and for psyops. And I did some live stream long forms and things like that. And it just seems like I put out good content, good video. I like to bring intelligence and value, and they just don't push it. And maybe that's, maybe I'm not the best YouTuber, but I agree with you. Anyway, let me jump back and let's keep this going because there was quite a bit of stuff that happened. So I'm going to share this. Gary has just been on fire lately. And this is another thing that he kind of debunked, Candace. So let's open this up. And actually, let me, he's talking about, well, hold on. Let me go back and I'm going to minimize this. So I want to read. Paramount Tactical says, I never said TPUSA killed Charlie. Yes, you did. And you even forgot to put a question mark on it. So now I'm going to, play the tape. Play shot 2.
I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be, as I believe, involved in a cover-up. And we can talk about what the motives are of that. They could be financial motives. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him. And I've never said that. So in theory, Cam Higbee, who was laughing off the idea of an assassination attempt, is being paid by the very organization that just had its leader assassinated in broad daylight in front of the entire world. I find that to be interesting.
I mean,
I
she's
certainly didn't suspect turning.
yeah, I mean, she's just such a liar. And it's just, she's making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars off of this. And it's absolutely awful. No, I'm a lover. Jesus given life, Jesus loved 3987. Jennifer, I still back Candace Owens. She's the only one actually involved in any investigation in Charlie Kirk's murder. Well, you know what? I mean, Jennifer, obviously we become friends today and things like that. And I'm glad you joined the channel. It's interesting to see how some of these audiences, my audience, Candace's audience, are kind of, Venn diagrams, as Kamala Harris likes to say. You know, kind of intercepting. I'm not saying that she can't ask questions, but what I think Candace is doing, in fact, I've got some other people saying that, they're kind of checking on her mental health. And there's some interesting theories with regard to that. But I don't think it's coming from a good place from where Candace is concerned. So that's what I'll say. Hey, Scott, I wanted to bring this back for you. Off topic, why aren't red cities and states getting ICE? We voted for it. Heck, we'll help them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, because it's a good question, and maybe they are. I thought MAGA was going to civil war over Kirk's murder, and yet nothing. I guess they didn't love him enough. I'm not even exactly sure what you're talking about. Nick Fuentes is honestly right. Candace has been riding the Israel train. Oh, yeah, I think I read that before. Swagger like use. These hallmarks are present in all mass shootings and high profile assassinations, though. What exactly do you mean, these hallmarks? I just want to make sure I understand. I'm not saying it's wrong. The facts never add up. Not with Candace. MAGA abandoned Kirk's memory just using as a grift. How sad for his legacy. I don't think that's true at all. I don't really think that's true at all. I think that a lot of people have questions. Paramount Tactical is MAGA, but he's doing sound, measured, very, very factual reporting based on data and evidence. I don't know Candace Owens, to me, I think she's just absolutely grifting off of this. They will eventually get to red cities. Sheriff Grady Judge in Polk County, Florida is getting Sheriff Grady Judd is awesome. I love him. MAGA is all talk and zero action. Weak. Okay. Yes, give Erica a chance. I agree. Swagger like use. Media is fake. Most of those accounts aren't verified. I hope so, Mike. Hello from Oklahoma. All right. By God and iron, I obtain thee. Call your state representative and ask them. You can always call ICE yourself. Yeah, and I think that's exactly the kind of thing that we need to do. By God and iron, obtain the. And thanks for joining the channel, and I thank you for your comment. Yeah, that's where we are. We have to start to do those things. We have to start to actually, become activists to some degree. It's not going to just change by watching social media. That's not how it's going to change. And I even think in some ways I'm not doing enough because I'm trying to build a YouTube channel and talk about things that I care about, but I want to talk about them with integrity and with, value for people and for receipts for people. And but I'd like to do more as we go. So I don't know. I just felt something was off with Erica Kirk right off the bat. I mean, you're certainly welcome to your opinion. I just, researchers and whistleblowers don't get views and algorithm support. Yeah, it's just true. You don't, I mean, I'm growing my channel a little bit, but, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it because I have interest in this. And I want to spend my time talking about things that I figure if I have interest in it and I like real news, I'm not, fluff, National Enquirer type. I would think that there's a community of people who also would appreciate this too. So that's why I'm doing it. So Candace doesn't know, but she doesn't know, but she knows. I know, it's so funny, isn't it? Scott, love it, love it, love it. Okay, let me go to new comments. You're trying to influence people to think your way. Well, yeah, to some degree. I mean, I am trying to, yeah. I mean, if you're talking to me, PS Shayna 3, I mean, isn't that what we're all trying to do? Isn't that what political campaigns are about? Show the evidence and say, hey, I really think we can have a better life if maybe support this person or support that person. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to influence people and have a discussion with somebody and try to win them over. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you need to do it on, facts and honesty. I mean, the right lights, candles, and praise, not the left who burn. Yeah, totally true, Tammy. Hey, I think you're back. I think I recognize you from last week. You're trying to indoctrinate people. No, I'm really not. No, not at all. I can think for myself. Thank you very much. Oh, maybe is this going on between the two of you? I'm not sure. Lady Jenny and PS China. Anyway, Candace is social media not impressive. That's so true. So let's keep going on this. I've got a few more things about Candace Owens that I want to share with you guys. Let me see here. Okay, one sec. No. You guys just keep talking. Bookmarks. So, as you guys are doing that, and thank you for being patient. Oh wait, we should play more of Gary because he's really good. Did I play this already?
This was Candace's job. She should have vetted this guy from the beginning.
Mitch Snow. He's talking about Mitch Snow.
And she didn't because she was so desperate for proof that she was right. Like, she's not worried about the integrity of what she's saying. She's not worried about the truth. She's worried about doing everything she can to destroy TPUSA and Charlie's legacy. I don't want to hear that Candace loved Charlie. It is clear to me that she did nothing but resent Charlie. And now that he's gone, she's going to destroy everything that he built, everything that he fought for. That's what she's doing, including his wife. The way that she is treated and has encouraged other people to treat that man's wife is effing disgusting. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me that Candace loved Charlie. She didn't. It's a shame this has to be done at all. And again,
I really love Paramount Tactical. I think he absolutely has a fabulous channel. And if you guys haven't gone onto his channel, go onto his channel. He's done so much work on this whole Candace Owens thing. And I think it's really, really of high value. But let's get some more super chats. Candace's social media. I don't recall any books, documentaries she's created exposing anything. I know. People who have strong beliefs will never change their position. I mean, that you should be sound in your value set. I'm good with that. Candace is a fraud. Michael Robinson, she is. And I mean, let me just take a moment. We're getting some more new people in the chat, and I love to have you here. Please tell me where you're from, and like and subscribe to the channel. Also share if you can. That is free. But if you're so inclined, I would love to have you join my channel. I think it's $5 a month or a super chat. I intend to really grow, and I want to put it back into the channel. And so your financial support helps me a lot too. And if you don't, totally understand, but at least subscribe. Okay, let's see. All of these influencers are the problem. I mean, I think that's fair. Social media, you need to be leery of social media. Okay. Mike Walls, now he's having a request of you at PS Shayna. Stop using all capital letters. Can we keep it civil in the chat? I love it. And Lady Jenny 1746, she says the same thing. Why are you using all caps? You do realize that means yelling. I'm going to get one more. This is how people get radicalized. Are you yelling that at us? Jeez. Chena, some are based and help viewers move along if you don't like it here. Thank you, by God and iron, I obtain thee. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a really good chat today, though, but we're going to keep going on, Candace, because there's a little bit more to share. Actually, let's go there. I want everybody to stay engaged and involved. So let me get the next clip. And you guys can keep it fighting and keep it going. Now, I want to share. Bookmarks. Okay. Let me see if I pulled the George Webb clip. George Webb has been a supporter of hers. And he okay, hold on one second. I swear I thought I bookmarked that. That's all right. We can go to now this is more about from Paramount Tacticals to
I have in text messages.
So real quick, if you didn't see this, Paramount Tactical actually bringing the receipts. He interviewed some I think, wives of this Mitchell Snow. So we'll play a little bit of that. And then I want to move on to also Alex Jones.
Him admitting to punching me in the face the night he gave me a TBI. Okay. And December 4th of 22. It's just, he's a horrible, serial abusive person.
And for everybody that isn't aware, that didn't watch Nate's podcast yesterday, he provided all the documentation with Candace. What I wanted to try to do was, we have all that documentation, we can share all that stuff, but I wanted to just hear her story. The documentation is there, text messages, court cases, and currently right now he is on a domestic violence charge with you and a protection order against you and Aaron, which we will get to in just a few minutes. But he admitted to in text messages with you that he punched you in the face. You said, "Hey, you punched me in the face." And he said, "Yeah, I did. I'm sorry." So these are all documented. This isn't just hearsay. This isn't, a scorned woman coming on here and claiming something. This is, number one, it is a crime. It's been prosecuted. It's been adjudicated.
Yeah, so that's just a little bit of it. And I'll keep going with it and stuff like that. But it is Paramount Tactical. And just to back it up a little bit, Candace had Mitchell Snow on saying that he saw all the stuff that happened at Fort Huachuca, just to bring everybody up if you're not up on the story. But and the reason why she's getting so much backlash this week is because the guy's a complete fraud. So Paramount Tactical, Gary at Paramount Tactical, and then Valhalla, I've actually pulled his stuff too. Did the deep dive onto Mitchell Snow. Mitchell Snow is not a credible witness. He's a liar. And so you really can't take his word for anything. And the character of somebody, when you're giving that kind of testimony in something, of this high visibility that Candace is putting on her show and, kind of spreading all these lies and trying to tear down Turning Point USA matters. So that's why Paramount Tactical did all of this. This woman was Canestino, did you see this? This woman was starving and sexually abusing her son. Snow was driving. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't know if that's true. Let me take that down. I don't hear anything about that. And I'd love you to give me your evidence. I think it was the opposite, that there was some other stuff, abuse happening with the son from Mitchell Snow. Now, I don't know. That's from my memory, and we can go and continue it going. But I think that's a falsehood, and I'm sorry I put that up on the chat. Okay. Canestino, taking a woman's side just because she's a woman is not critical thinking. I didn't take her side just because she's a woman. There are documents and evidence and court cases and stuff like that to support what these women are saying. So I didn't take sides. First of all, if you know me at all, you know this channel at all, I'm not about DEI. And I'm not a feminist by any means. I think that people should bring value. So you got the plot wrong there. Go to DD has a podcast to see the truth about that woman. I don't know who DD is. This doesn't invalidate his story from years ago and going to Fort recently. Yes, you can be a scumbag and a witness at the same time. Funny, Tucker and Candace say F Israel and you hate them all. Okay, Snow admitted it. You're right, Lady Jenny. He did admit it. Hi, he has evidence too. Okay, whatever. We're going to keep going with it. I actually want to go to okay, so let's share this. No. Okay, can you guys see this?
Watch this report and do your own research. And Candace, please think about what I'm about to say and what I'm about to reveal.
It's pretty big when Alex Jones comes up.
Dig this hole much further.
I can confirm on this podcast live every step of your story in terms of where you went, what time you were there, that there was this big meeting that happened. I confirmed the location with other people that are on Fort Huachuca currently. I can confirm everything with metadata. I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw Brian Harpole, what percentage would you put it at?
95.
95%. Okay.
95 to 99. I mean, I lures me to the garage that she pre-set up to be like a little prison. She broke the garage doors. Hoarded stuff was stacked against the windows and the other doors. And she lured me in there and attacked me. Hit me with a hammer and, break my thumbs, my feet, back of my skull. Eventually, I was hearing my son cry. I was worried about him, having her maul him with the dogs again. And she had done that multiple times. He had been hurt really bad. So when I heard him crying, I used the hammer to go ahead and break the door handle, pulled on my arm while I was holding the phone, dislocated my arm. That's actually one of the
So apparently he started, this is what people have said, he started with an accent in this particular podcast. I guess this guy just goes on podcasts and, different stories. I think his actual name was Harry Meyer, and then it was changed to Mitchell Snow. This is all documented by Paramount Tactical, and Alex Jones did a deep dive into it and things like that. But this is some of the things that she's getting all this backlash. And so then she had an absolute meltdown live on Twitter while Paramount Tactical was broadcasting the other night. And it just got a little bit crazy. So that's kind of the latest. Yeah, he is a known fraud. He's absolutely a known fraud. You're 100% right about that, Lady Jenny 1746. James NH5FL. Hey girl, how Pookie and Ray Ray and them y'all good. I don't know who you're talking about, James. Where are you from? I'm glad you joined the channel. I just don't know where you're from and who you are. Podcasters tried saying Snow was not a military until they were proven wrong. Then podcasters tried saying he was not at the military fort to see the meeting until proven wrong. You're wrong about that, Canestino. Yes, they have evidence that he supposedly was there, and that's even questionable too. Paramount Tactical read it the other day. There was a police report, but there's no concrete evidence that he was actually saw what he claims that he saw, which was that Brian Harpole and Erica Kirk were at this Fort Huachuca the day before Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk was murdered. So you're not right about that. It's just simply not right. Snow is a proven fraud. I don't know what world you're living in. I'm glad that Candace Owens ain't seeing Zionists here talking about we're a Judeo-Christian nation. We aren't. We're a Christian nation. We are a Christian nation. That is true. Well, Erica Kirk, where was she? Well, she just showed a photo that she was with her children on Gary's. Now, there's another controversy with that because Gary said the 9th and he meant the 8th, and Candace had a big, huge meltdown about that. But I mean, Jennifer, candidly, do you really think that Erica Kirk was in on it? I mean, do you really believe that? And I'm just asking in a nice way. We already know where Erica was. It's exactly right. I believe you're right, Lady Jenny. Okay, we'll keep going with a little bit more of Alex.
Surgeries. I'm still recovering from getting surgeries from it. You know, I saw there was already cops there. They were sitting on the corner at DeMoss Road and Van Giesen out there, Benton City, not far from our house, like 400 feet from our house. I could see them, and they weren't coming over. They were just sitting out there outside of their cars, talking and chatting with each other. And
it's been an amazing trip, and most of all, it's the people that I've gotten to meet and hear their stories. It's absolutely fantastic. This has been a wonderful experience.
I want you to meet a man named Mitch Snow. He's very, very interesting. He is the new Egyptian planes. We're supposed to move on from the Egyptian planes that were the key to everything up until just about 4 or 5 days ago to Mitch Snow. This is the key to everything. Now, I want to be very clear. I've known Candace Owens since she first showed up on the political scene. I've always liked her. One of the first people to ever interview her. I have admired her, been friends with her. She's on our promos, for my own broadcast. And since we've seen the whole saga and the tragedy of Charlie Kirk's assassination back in September 10th of this year, it has turned into just a huge black hole issue.
Yeah, so real quick. So did you notice that Mitchell Snow did not have an accent in that one real quick clip right before Alex came on? So, the guy is very questionable to start with. Let me see. We've got a lot of people rolling in the chat. Candace lost her mind. By God and iron, I obtained you're 100% correct. She's just, I think it's actually malicious at this point. And I actually have some other clips if you guys are interested. And if you want me to bounce off of this and go to that, I can. Doesn't matter. What's the baseline here? Just dropped here by accident. Welcome, Miguel. What's the baseline here? Any doubt Charles Kirk's assassination official narrative is just a lie. Well, I don't know that it's a lie. I think that there's more to be answered. So the baseline here for this segment, and welcome to the channel, Miguel, let me know where you're from. This part of the live stream is to address the backlash against Candace Owens because she had Mitchell Snow on her show. Saying that he had all this evidence about a secret clandestine meeting to basically Erica Kirk and Brian Harpole to, in on the assassination of Charlie. That is the baseline of this. So I do not believe that we know the full story yet. But I think that there's evidence, and that's the face of it. I mean, Occam's razor. What is the most reasonable thing that probably did happen here was Tyler Robinson. I think Lance Twiggs got a much bigger role in it than we currently know about. But yeah, I don't think Tyler Robinson acted alone. And I think the direction, which is not the direction that Candace is looking in at all, is this trans furry, trans Tifa, violent, all the Discord chats of everybody having say, hey, look there's going to be big news tomorrow, a song about Charlie Kirk dead at 31. I think that is really probably what happened. Do we have the full story in its entirety yet? No, I don't think we do. But that's the baseline of this at the point. Hearsay isn't evidence at Candace. Swagger likes to use. You're totally correct. Gary lied to. Yes, I do. Gary lied to. Are you talking about Gary from Paramount Tactical? Not sure if he lied. Candace lost her mind. Erica Kirk is half Jewish and comes from a family of mobsters called the Rothsteins. So what? At Monica. Facts. Word. Okay. Let's go. Let's go back to this.
Sucking everything into it. And so I've been forced to go study the different stories and claims and things that she's been getting into. And I've held my tongue with everybody asking me on air and at the grocery store and at church and my family about what I thought until the last week, because I hadn't done a deep study of it all. I knew about a lot of the pieces, but still had a lot of other things I was dealing with and covering. And so then I just started doing a deep dive in the last few weeks. And I focused on a lot of big pieces of it, but first off was the Egyptian planes. And right as I'm already doing the research and others are doing the research, a researcher goes and gets the flight data, actually buys the professional grade, puts out the fact that 66% of the time she said these planes were in the United States, they were another continent. And another 60% of the time, they weren't matched up to where she was. And then Candace came out a few days ago and said, yeah, she got some of that wrong. And then, of course, she met with Erica Kirk and thought things might be better.
Another round of debunking the Egyptian planes. I want to be very clear. We discussed the Egyptian planes, and I have since worked on an incredible document about the Egyptian planes, which we are going to put up on our websites, because I realized that when we shared that spreadsheet, people assumed that one of the columns, which was actually saying where the planes landed on that day, because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where Erica had been on that day, and that was inaccurate. And so for clarity, I had been working on the last week on turning it into an interactive timeline that we can put up on our website, because I'm certain that these Egyptian planes are incredibly shady and that they were in fact tracking Turning Point USA faith broader events. Of course, Erica was at some of them, Charlie was at some of them, but it is the pattern here is undeniable. So let the naysayers and people make videos trying to, fifth round debunk these planes.
And then all of a sudden, she fires up this letter she gets from this person that says they were a medic in special forces. And according to Grok, that's true. But he was also in the witness protection program and stalked and had all this family violence against him. But Grok says it's the other way around, and that no evidence of him in witness protection. And in the years he says he's in witness protection.
Okay, so I'll stop here for a second. This is a couple of days old, and Alex Jones actually has more, more recent information than this. But I just thought, when Alex Jones is coming out and saying, hey, Candace, he was initially saying, I care about you, I know you, and I'm a little bit worried about what you're doing here because this guy is complete bad news. And he has just lied. And again, there's court, I think there's restraining orders against this Mitchell Snow, whose real name I think was Harry Meyer or what have you. But that's the point of, the backlash that Candace Owens has received this week. And this is even a couple of days old from Alex Jones. And, we've been going for a couple hours here. I wanted to at least share an update about Candace Owens. But I really wanted to cover what Nick Shirley was doing and then talk a little bit about Tucker Carlson. So we'll take a few more comments here. I think a lot of you guys are very up to date on this, so I'm not sure how much more I can do. And I'm not going to get into Valhalla or anything like that, because I actually have to go out to dinner in a little bit or late lunch. Alex Jones is bought by Israel because Candy Biss over the target. Alex. Okay, so we got the bots and the Cantifa crowd. I said Islam, but it wasn't when the country was founded. USA did not accept Islam immigrants back then. Okay, all you need is lunch. All you drink is punch. All you need is lunch, lunch, lunch. It's all that is hilarious. I love it. All you need is lunch. I think that's so funny. Thermachill, where are you from? I like your comment. That's funny. I don't know about anything people say Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are more for truth than Alex Jones. I don't know. I think that's debatable. I think that's debatable. I mean, I don't know. Not a bot, a Catholic guy. I'm a Catholic person. Valhalla is another snake. So this is interesting, Kinestino. Valhalla did a live stream, and I have it here, and I can play a few minutes of it. You want me to, I will. But he did a live stream the other night debunking Mitchell Snow in great detail. And all the knives came out for him early on. In fact, you know what? Let's go there right now. I do not think that he is let's share this tab instead. Here we go. Let's watch a little of this.
Hope everybody's ready for a fun one tonight. You can already see a lot of people in the chat attacking me before they've ever even seen the episode. So there's a lot of critical thinking going on in that, huh? Yeah, Nate's on the CIA payroll. Nate's gay, I heard. I'm gay and my wife's a stripper. So we got that one going on. Probably true. Probably true. I was an Oregon cheerleader, so I'm probably gay. A lot of attacking.
So the reason I wanted to start with that is really to respond back to you, Kinestino, because that's exactly what happened to Valhalla, who's a supporter of Candace's, when he came out and just said, hey, there's just like something not right here. And everybody lost their mind. I'm not Cantifa. I just trust an American more than shit real. I mean, that's fair. I don't think you're Cantifa. I think there's some, and they're not here this week. I got it pretty bad last week with a lot of bots and things like that. I mean, somebody had made a comment about algorithms. I think it was you. One of my regulars saying that, if you're not about the algorithm and you're about research and truth telling, that, you're getting suppressed and things like that. So that might be somewhat true. Oh, Thermal Chill, Colorado. Awesome. Welcome. Believe it or not, Chaina, there used to be a process to get into the USA. You're 100% right. By God and iron, I obtain thee. That is what I think a lot of us want to see again. Oh, Swagger like yous. It was you that was talking about the algorithm and research and things like that. So yeah, the gullibility in today's world is quite baffling. And not only is it baffling, it's actually kind of upsetting. Now, if you talk about podcasters bought and paid for, I don't know. I am not. I'm just a regular person. I work a full-time job, but I wanted, this is interesting to me, and I wanted to, I'm really just looking to grow my channel. I haven't made any money at all. I just am so I'm not bought and paid for by anybody. Thermal Chill. I recommend watching Rocky Mountain Heist documentary about how the 4 wealthiest Democrats hijacked the state of Colorado 2008 to 2011. Yeah. So I know that Colorado just went very, very left. And I always thought it was a little bit more, at least down the middle, and more of like a swing state. And so it's probably true. Valhalla demanded Candace does as he said, and George Webb, his partner, said Candace will be lynched. Racist. I don't really think that that's what happened, but the point is, Kinestino, all of this, he's talking about how he got attacked just out of the gate, and he wasn't even able to get through the episode and, show the receipts. Good for wealthy Democrats. Okay. Israel won 22% of all Nobel Peace Prizes ever since in science and technology. Can any Democrat name one? Islam, one, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure. My family came through Ellis, as did mine. Yeah, your interest is not an issue. Your need to be seen colors your opinion. Are you talking about me? If she's wrong, why silence her instead of letting facts expose it? Why is questioning feared? Why did disagreement justify exile over debate? Why attack character, not facts? What does this say? Yeah, I mean, I think because she's actually contradicting herself a lot. I think she started out pretty well, and then I think there's something going on with Candace. I think she took, just she kind of went she lost the plot a little bit, and so people are talking about it. Democrats were started by an ancient pagan death cult long ago. I'm guessing this libtard can't read. It's not me. So did my family. Both sides fought and died in the Civil War. Wonderful. Me too, lady. Actually, I think it was only one side on my family, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I'll play a little bit more of this, and then I got to know what time it is. I've got a little bit of time. Got to go to let's keep it rolling for a little bit, okay? And I'm gonna bounce ahead because he gets into this. Oops.
We got Snow, or Harry Lawrence Myers, we should say. Okay, so the backstory is his time in the military. We all know the story by now. He uncovers this crazy story about how the lieutenant colonel at his military unit is working with the cartels and El Chapo. Right, we know the story. Eventually, what happens is, it gets shut down, but then the cartels are after him. Right, we remember that. And he told Candace he's on the run for 30 years, hiding from the cartels. He's got to change his name. He's got to do all these things. Well, we found some things out with his military records. So what we do know is that, yes, Mitch Snow, or as Harry Lawrence Myers, joined the military January 11th, 1989. Okay. So I do believe that he was part of this unit, potentially, that whatever was going on down there. And again, kernels of truth in good con artist lives. He probably was involved in this unit, in some capacity. And he sort of spun that into a story about this insane story about the cartels, being on the lookout for him, and him having to leave the military so he could escape the cartels, fake identities, all this stuff. None of that is true. And we found that out is not true because it turns out.
Hold on. Rotting Dead 187. Welcome to the Communist Propaganda Grift channel. I don't think you know much about my channel if you're talking about me. So I'm just really responding to something in the chat. And that if you're talking about Valhalla, I mean, I don't think he's a Communist Propaganda Grift channel. He's been a supporter of Candace's, and even in this live stream, I think it was Friday night that he did it, he still refused to come out and actually call out Candace. He was just calling out Mitchell Snow in this live stream that he did the other night. So you're just great stream, Monica. Okay, guys, you know what? I think everybody is up to date. I haven't had anything to eat yet. I hope you have subscribed and liked. Please share the channel. That's free. And if you want to join, it's $5 a month, or share a super chat or a super thanks if I brought any value to you. But that is, I'm going to wrap it here for today. I've got to take my mom out to dinner or lunch because it's Sunday and that's what we do. We honor our parents. My mom is alone and want to make sure that she has a meal. But I love all of you guys joining. I think going forward, I'm going to do live streams every Sunday, news aggregate, kind of like I did today. And then I do long forms during the week on different subjects and things like that. But really have enjoyed everything, met a lot of new people, and I hope the channel grows. Thank you, Lady Jenny. Thank you. I really, good to see you 3 weeks in Ro, I really love to have you. And Swagger Like Yous, thank you so much as well for joining. And I triggered this libtard on our comments. Okay. Okay, got it. Anyway, you guys, please, really thank you so much and have a great rest of the day. I got to take my mom out to late lunch, early dinner. Happy New Year. Probably going to do it again on Sunday, or maybe even if something comes up earlier this week, because I don't have to go back to work till January 5th. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much.